We have with us Dave Yost from the airport.
Okay.
What'd you say?
I can get 6 foot apart. How's that? Well, kind of the main reason that the Airport Commission wanted to meet with you this morning is that we had a meeting on April 19 at 6 in the evening. So I want to get you minutes of that meeting. Upside down. But.
Oh, you're fine.
Nothing kind of out of the ordinary. We've got 3 projects to complete this season that we've already talked about and been approved and voted on, and so that's in the plan for this year. There was a $9,000 COVID relief grant that was awarded to the airport, and we've signed those grant papers, and so that's all it's ready. We've got 4 years to decide what to spend those funds on, and it is pretty restricted on what it can be spent for, although we're gonna, if there's something we really need, we're gonna present it to the FAA and see if we can get them into our where we need to use it at anyway. But so there's $9,000 there that will be coming in, and it's done through the Delphi system. As soon as we need it, then we go to the Delphi system, and that's how those funds don't just automatically aren't sent in just automatically. We have to go in and apply for them. The one thing that we discussed that's kind of a little overlap from the airport operator agreement is we've got no bathroom at the airport. The only bathroom really up there, is Devin has one in his hangar, but that's his private bathroom, and the Grace Flying Building has a bathroom, but that's under Robert's airport agreement, so that's his private bathroom, and he doesn't have it open to the public, so there is no bathroom. The air ambulance, when he comes up there, he's not allowed to leave the airport while he's there, so this is just one person, but he has to hit the buffalo grass,
Yeah.
So people coming in, I myself, I think about when I go flying, the first thing I do when I climb out of the airplane is need a bathroom, and you think of if somebody flies in the wintertime, they shut their plane off, they're in the cold, they've got no place to go except down to C-Mart, and there's a courtesy car, but it's going to be cold, so you get out of the airplane. You got some ladies in the airplane. You start up a cold car. You drive it down, to the C-Mart, and that's not really.
Are they even open that late at night?
I think till 10 o'clock. I think is as late as they're open. So this is a building that could be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it would be designated as a flight planning building, so there would be a meeting room in it, or a lounge for the pilots, basically is what it is, and then a bathroom in there. So we had a meeting about that, and what we would like to do is to apply to the state for a grant, which and I talked to the state, and they said that right now a building is a 50-50, and I said, well, that's not going to work for us. We need to have it as a 90-10 grant like everything else that we've done. And so they said, well, if we designate it as a flight planning room, that might be able to get done. So I don't have a firm answer on that, but I'd like to be I'd like to apply for the grant if we can get the 90-10 in that program. So I'd like to get you guys okay on doing something like that.
How big are you talking?
And that really hasn't even been talked about. I know Mike Calacrane sent me a picture of the Lyman building. They've got a building that's got a room, a flight planning room, and a bathroom in it. Not real big. And no, we don't want anything real big. I mean, it's something we haven't really talked about.
Is that like somewhere you could have your meetings too, or?
I think it is, yeah. We came the other night to have our meeting here, though the door was locked. So we had it downstairs. There's a table down there. We improvised. But if we did have a place, that would be handy.
What do you think? What do you think the building will cost, Dave? You don't know until
I don't know, but I'm just going to guess probably $80,000-$90,000.
So okay.
Then there's some other things to get sewer hooked up to it.
So what's the rise over run to the sewer? I mean, are you going to be able to do the 1 inch per 30 feet? Is that what it's?
I'm not sure.
Slope is.
That's another thing. We'd either have to discuss, digging the sewer up to there or doing a contained.
Okay.
Have you thought of an area yet?
I think that the place that would be right there and visibly right west of Grace's office building.
Like where the parking lot is?
Yeah. And there would still be parking area there.
Is Grace's interested in selling theirs?
I've asked that. I don't know.
I mean, it's about the right size. It's got a bathroom. It's got everything.
It's perfect.
Can you use
I
grant
know
money
you
to
couldn't
buy
get
second
grant
use?
money for it, but
No, you couldn't get grant money for it.
it might be. I don't know.
My answers are my questions get answered pretty vague on that, so it was talked about at the meeting too, about that.
I'm not asking him.
Yeah. Let's, would it be okay with you and not commit to building a building or anything? Would it be okay to ask for a grant from the state? And then if it got accepted, it would be a next year's project. It would be after July of next year. But,
It wouldn't hurt nothing to do that.
I think it's a good idea, but I've also been in an airplane and had to run and find a bathroom.
I know. You either find the buffalo grass or a bathroom, and you know what everybody's going to do. I mean, you're not going to wait till you get to C-Mart. So,
I, for one, think it'd be a good idea to at least check into it.
okay, we'll check into it and not make any commitments. And of course, if the grant gets accepted, we don't have to do it. We can, turn down the grant after it's accepted. So we could turn in a grant if that's grant application, if that's okay with you guys.
I think so. Absolutely.
Okay. Then that kind of brings us into another part of the discussion would be the airport manager. Robert was at the meeting, and we're not sure exactly where he's at on that. It's a 1 year at a time, and so if he should decide at December 31st not to want to be the airport manager anymore, we've got to find someone, and we've got to do this prior to. He said he would notify you guys or the airport commissioner or somebody like September, August, September, in that time range. So, but it's somebody that's got to be, educated about putting the NOTAMs in when the snow is pushed. Somebody's got to push the snow. The AWAS has got to be monitored. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody within the county that would be interested in and accepting that position. It really needs to be two guys, because if one guy gets sick,
Yeah, is that
you
a
know,
town?
somebody else has got, it's, you know, snow's got to be pushed. So we're kind of at loss right now to know, you know, who to contact and what to do about that. But I think we need to plan ahead. We don't want to wait till December 31st and say, oh, wow, now something's got to be done.
Yeah.
So, and maybe we can, you know, talk to some people, find out what we can do, because we really, until we know what Robert's plans are, if he wants to go another year, then, you know, we've got some time to think about it. But if he wants to, you know, quit the airport manager and lets us know on August or September, then we need to scramble.
Does he have someone who helps him do it, or?
Not right now.
So
You know,
just-
Ron and Richard used to, but since Grace Flying Service has been he's sold out, then he really is doing it himself.
Dave, what I would suggest is coming up with a job description as to what the expectations are in regards to this position and what the commission is recommending in regards to hours, compensation, duties, etc., so that the commissioners would have a better idea of what the expectations are.
Okay. And I did talk to Robert about this, and he's going to make up a folder, or at least a list of items that he does. And like if the AWAS goes down, who to contact, the phone numbers and all of that. Then after that, you know, on the airport, on where to push snow, and, you know, a list of things that he does as airport manager. So we'll get that, and then we'll bring that to you, and that way we can hopefully pick out a person that's interested in this.
We're gonna, you know, I don't know, but I would say that it'll end up being a county employee. And if it is, we're gonna have to advertise it.
Right. And see,
I might be wrong. I don't know where will they fall? Are they gonna fall under, we were contracting Grace's to do it.
you're right.
So are we gonna contract the person to do it, or are we gonna,
I think so, because it's got to be, you know, it's got to be obligated. I mean, it's got to be, you know, when it snows, you got to be there. And I'm going to say that probably, you know, where Grace Flying Service had business and was also airport manager, county paid them and they paid the county, and I don't think that we're probably going to be able to get somebody for the same kind of dollars we were talking. So I think we need to kind of, you know, in the back of our mind, be prepared for that too. So what we'll do, we'll get the list of items that Robert does. We'll type up a job description. We'll get it to you guys, and go from there. See where we end up. But anyway, we want to be prepared ahead of time on this deal.
Right, because another question is going to be, where is that coming out of the budget?
yeah.
Well, where's it
What
come out
fund is-
now?
For,
I don't know where it comes out now, but it's a contract. So
I think it comes out of county general, doesn't it?
Couldn't tell you right offhand.
I think so, but I'm not sure either.
That's what I'm saying. They're kind of a county, and they're not a county employee, but they're contracted by the county.
Right.
Is there any way we can get him to commit one way or another sooner?
I've asked him. If you can, you're doing better than I am, because I don't know.
well, it's in the agreement
Yeah.
as to when
Exactly.
he's going to let the commissioners know. It's specified in the agreement.
Yeah, at the end of it is, you know, I mean, if he would let everybody know what he's planning, and I'm not sure he knows. I'm not saying I don't think he's trying to hide anything from anybody, but I think he's unsure. Okay, and let's see, the next item then is, of course, the Batwing mower that was a COVID fund deal, has been purchased and is at the airport. So it's a brand new mower. It's there. paid for, you know,
Awesome people.
property of the airport, so.
Dave, I was looking at this, and it talks about the lettering, temporary markings. Is that something you guys are in control of? Do we need to find somebody? Because I just see this amount a day. Is that something we need to try to help address?
There's really nothing we can do about it.
Okay.
And Robert has talked to Olson's,
Okay.
and I've talked to Olson's, and what there is they're painting guys that letter the runway. They were so busy last fall that
Right.
they couldn't get them, and then
And
it got
with
late,
COVID
and then the weather was against them. It's got to be above 53 degrees or something like that for them to letter.
Okay.
Well, now I think that's the only time period, and SPOR is getting penalized per day
Okay,
for this project not being completed.
okay. So that's going to SPOR, not us.
And that's
Right.
going to cause the airport to be closed for a week,
Yeah.
right?
Hopefully 3 or 4 days. I mean, it's not that huge of a project, and I would hope that it would be 3 or 4 days, but they say it up to a week, maybe even a week and a day, which would take it through a weekend.
They're giving themselves some leeway.
I think so. I hope so. I mean, I don't want to be over optimistic.
And are you or the contractor communicating with emergency services?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Robert does that.
Okay.
Yep. I think that was Rodney. Is that pretty much?
Pretty much. The only thing that I think I could add would be the commissioners probably should look back at the 90,000 that never got to the airport board. Now, Brent and I were commissioners at that time, and there was a dispute between the county clerk and the county treasurer as to who had failed to put the 90,000 in your funds. Mapes and Miller, during their audit, for that final audit they did, they determined that the treasurer had failed to put the money into your account. So it went into the general fund. So in essence, you've been short 90,000 in your fund for the last 4 years. And you've done a wonderful job with what you've had. And there's no way the commissioners can claw that money back and give it to your fund. But they need to be very conscientious on what they're going to budget for you next year. And you're going to have to be forceful on what your needs are, and then they're going to have to make the decision, Dave.
Yeah. Well, we've done. I mean, as far as managing the funds that we've had available, you know, we've been 90-10. There's only, you know, that one little short $7,500 taxiway extension there is not 90-10, and everything else has either been 90-10 or 95-10. So with very little money, we've done a tremendous amount of work at the airport.
It is really nice.
And you know, we don't want to pat ourselves on the back too bad, but we're really proud of what's happened up there. And I don't think any place in the city or the county you can get as much done with as little money as we've had. So anyway. Really, the building and the taking care of the airport after Robert is the two main things that we really are kind of concerned about there. And the one other thing too is, and this is with Dave, with the Stratton Equities building that they're going to build,
Right.
and they've signed a lease on. We've got to get the dirt work done to get the road extended to the east, so that their trucks can bring chemical in. Not a huge deal, but it's about almost 1 year of that 3 years is passed, and I think we need to do our part so that they'll be ready to carry on.
Any material you guys want, we'll give you.
Okay.
If we've got what you want.
Well, and we've talked about this before, and it was, voted on to go ahead and
Meaning my pond.
take care of that, so.
Sorry.
So, anyway, that's the only other thing we gotta work with Dave, get that done. And of course, that's a difficult deal. He's got machinery that's out in the country and whatever, but, I just don't want Stratton to come up to us and say, hey, you said you was gonna do this and you haven't done it, I'd rather be ahead of time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So we're building the road, you say?
Yeah, and it's not very long. I mean, we're only talking, what are we talking, a couple hundred yards, I think, Dave, isn't it?
Because we decided not to prepare the site, right?
Right. Yep, that's theirs. But we do have to get it to the, to the terrace ditch, and then they put their own, they have to pay to put the culvert in, they have to put the dirt across the culvert, and all we have to do is get it to where they can get down there, so. And I think it's gonna work really cool, because, where that terrace is, we'll widen that out and just basically run on top of the terrace. It'll have to be built up, a foot or two or whatever, but it's gonna appear nice. It's gonna flow right into the plan that we've got. So.
And we are positive they are going to build.
They've paid their lease.
I know they paid their lease, but
I can talk to him again, but I think they're waiting on
I
us.
don't want to do a bunch of work.
Right.
Do we need a letter of commitment, or?
We got an agreement.
We've got it, yeah.
Well, if we got the lease agreement, it doesn't say they gotta build a building, does it?
Yes,
New construction.
within 3 years.
They were going to start in the fall because they contacted me on getting a lot of material to put under the building.
Okay.
But something fell through. I think their spray pilot had cancer of the jaw.
Oh, wow.
And it threw him back. And so that is my understanding. And so it has thrown him back. But
Yep.
they're, to my knowledge, they're still planning on getting.
I really thought the 3 years was too long, but now I'm glad that we did it that way. I think it worked out really well. So, okay, I think got everything that we've talked about.
I think I'm done.
Okay,
Dave, thank you. for
thank
what
you.
do.
You bet.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Brett.
I'll give you personal reading on what I found out up there. Still put that in here, but most of it's politics. Some of it boils down to UConn, so you need to know all over.
Is that a misprint at 9:30? Is that a misprint at 9:30?
Yeah. It is. I saw that a little video.
You have Dave Yost here, is that?
That's what we're talking about.
Oh, okay. I think it was just here.
We're ready for you.
We can get some receipted money in now. This Fowler's is a tire repair, or we purchased tire at Fowler's from Oberlin. I went with a good used radio on that, out the landfill loader. The Unibridge is the scale company. It quit on us. They come out of down south somewhere. A lot of it's mileage and labor. But anyway, we got to have it up and running. I wish there was someone else that did that closer. Same thing here. We're able to receive some money, so you start to see some of these asphalt chips that we've been selling up there coming in, so.
Dave, is this actual payroll? Or am I seeing that wrong? The 27? Up here.
Yep,
It
payroll
is.
for the 2 weeks.
That's for the chip seal, you were saying?
Payroll for the employees.
Okay. All right.
Nothing matters to me, but what it was chips costing? What are you charging?
It was $8 for the better material and $4 a ton for the other. So,
8 a ton
for the better material, and then it's kind of like an asphalted sand we're charging $4. That's the south bow, so
Roger,
hopefully we're getting through. We about got we're going to retain a little bit more of the 8 for some of our problems and stuff like that, so, but we still got quite a little of the $4 stuff left I need to get rid of.
there was a question risen earlier on the overtime, how some people had 90, 100. There was varying so much on the overtime. What was,
So we'll add 5 to 10 hours
Yeah, 5.
of overtime.
We generally have 5, but we had the fire Byron Road run some more on overtime, and I think that was about the only ones that really went over much.
I think I made a goof up on my notes, I'm sorry.
So,
There was others.
shouldn't have been over 5 per week. We averaged 45 hours. So it shouldn't have
Yeah,
been.
looked wrong.
I know there was 4 or 5 of them, wasn't there?
4 or 5 of them were 8 and 9 hours.
And I think I wrote mine down wrong, sorry.
Okay. I just knew Byron was over where we had that fire that night,
Yeah.
and
Do you want to look at it?
other than that, it shouldn't have been much more.
Lenny Bishop, 10 hours.
Who'd you say?
Lenny?
Right, which is the 5 hours each week. So it's I think this was an 11-day payroll, or 10, one or the other, so you're gonna pick up the full 2 weeks. So yeah, most of them will have that.
All right.
I think a couple of them run just like 15 or minutes or half hour over or something when we was working on the project, something like that, so.
Okay. Because it's 2 weeks.
Correct, yep, full 2.
Thank you, Dave.
As far as work done, we wound up hauling a lot of the millings out on the river road, got that incorporated. Hopefully that's starting to come around. I'm very pleased with Road 15, Long Ridge Road. That's looking great. We rebladed the south end where we had ground it. So other than that, we've been busy disking shoulders and doing some blading, kind of cleaning things up. So. I got a highway permit here for Clint Burse. He wants to bore across Road C between section 22 and 27, and he's going to be putting in a 1.25 inch water line. So should be no problem with that since it's bored. We just need to prove it.
And this is across like the one that's actually 4th Street.
No, this is in the country.
Yeah, but I mean, when it gets out to the east end of the town, is that where it's at?
No, he's got his grandpa's old farmstead down on Road C.
Oh, okay,
Put it
yeah.
down south.
Okay, now.
This would
okay.
be southwest of Eldon Walden, our help shop.
Yeah.
So,
And move we approve Clint Burge pouring into the county road.
I second it.
Motion to approve permit 2102. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, that'll pass.
You need to sign it, doesn't he?
yeah, one of my, Willie has to sign it, so. And then you two, yeah, okay. Wednesday, we went to the meeting, Gerald Pinco got a hold of me, they completed all the bridge inspections. I don't know if you guys want these, or whether you wanna,
They inspect that one with the concrete.
have not got up here, that one with the box I didn't like, haven't got here yet. And then I said, what about the project? He said the contractor is, Gove or somewhere like that, and he expects 3 to 4 weeks he'll be done with it, and then be moving up here on our project. So I assume that's when they're gonna be looking at it then, because he's got to stake it and stuff like that, so. So things are progressing on that, and I hadn't heard anything for a while, so I was concerned about that, so. But anyway, as far as the bridges, we really didn't have any alarms or anything like that. We just had one sign I think we had to put up, a couple of object markers. We just have, in the report, we have a lot of, like berms, erosion and things like that that we have to take care of, mostly from the flood. So, well, I thought we had quite a little of them done, but when they inspected every one of them, we got more to do, so, yeah. So. This is our biannual inspection that's required to do, so.
Everything was good.
Yeah, they was pleased, so. Yeah, I was glad to hear that, so. Just,
Do you need this back?
what's that?
Do you need that back?
It's up to you guys. If you don't gonna use them, we'll use them somewhere, but if you want them, then you're welcome to, so.
Bring them over to the office, we got a new shredder.
The last thing, I need to call for 5 minutes of executive session to discuss non-elected personnel.
I'll make a motion for 5 minutes of non-elected personnel.
Seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?